You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know about home security system, a different kind of a show. Normally, of course, we talk about wellness topics, but today, when I run across a local business person and they want to be on the show, and they have a great reputation, we have to get them on, and this is one of those cases. With us, we have the owner, Sheri Sandifer of Command One Security. Hey, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Good. Now, before we get into the topic and the details about home security, tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, Command One Security is a family-owned and operated security alarm company.
How many years?
25 years.
25 years?
Yeah, in the Coachella Valley.
How'd you get involved?
Well, it's my family's business,
All right.
And when my father needed someone to run it after he decided to semi-retire, he asked me if I would take care of that, and absolutely, I was very happy to do it. So
your father owned it first?
My father started the business, yes. He started the business in 1983.
Okay.
And it just grew it up basically over the years. And now since 1983, we've been
So you took it over? You took it over in 83?
I took it over so that he could semi-retire and go do other things that he wants to do business-wise. And basically we install and service and monitor security alarm systems for people's homes and businesses and commercial, that sort of thing.
You like this business?
Oh,
this is, I told you don't look like somebody in the alarm business.
Oh,
but you like it. You've been doing it a long time.
Yes, we have been doing it a long time, and it serves a very good purpose.
In fact, one of your reps, and this is also very interesting. His name is Jim.
Jim Basile, correct.
And he's been with you for how many years?
22 years.
So people that are watching this, and they if you send somebody to their house, it'll be Jim.
Absolutely.
23 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Is it more like 15?
No. He came to work for us when he was 10. It was it was terrific.
So
yeah.
he obviously likes the business. So who's the typical? Maybe it's an obvious question, but maybe not. Who's a typical client?
Our typical client is a homeowner.
Okay.
We have an awful lot of clients who are homeowners in so many of the resorts and the condominiums around the valley, but just homeowners in general. We have a lot of snowbirds because the valley has a lot of snowbirds. People
Do they bring in specific needs? I mean, I guess if they're gone.
Oh, sure.
And what are they?
Oh, sure. Well, if you're only there 4 months out of the year or the occasional weekend, then you really, really need to be able to rely on a security system that in the event that you do have a break-in or a fire, somebody is going to know about it. And somebody's going to deal with it and let you know about it.
Now, we should mention this because, this is kind of like an ion business, local business for the Coachella Valley, and that's why we're doing it, because we only do medical shows nationwide in Canada. But, when you have a local business, and this is what I think people need to know, and we'll start right off, is you're less expensive, monthly and in the long run than the major brands.
Yes.
And if you don't mind me saying, based on what's quoted, Brinks, ADT, you are less per month. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
But is that all? I mean, do you feel that you have better service?
Oh, no question about it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we're local. First of all, right off the bat, if you have a particular question or a need or a service need, number one, you can get in your car and come right down, stand in front of my desk. Or walk into our monitor.
Do they ever do that?
Our monitoring station, occasionally, not very often, but every once in a while somebody wants to come in and talk to you face to face. And I think that's important. If I want to talk to you face to face, I don't want to have to leave 47 messages on your voicemail. I want to be able to come into your office, and people can do that, and I'm available. I think that's an important feature. Number two, if you need service, you're going to have service within 24 hours, most likely.
Now, don't all monitoring systems, though? I mean, you may be local, but don't you all outsource the
monitoring?
The monitoring?
No. Most of them do.
So
we
that is
do
true.
not. We have a monitoring station in the Coachella Valley.
Tell me about that.
It's an alarm monitoring station. It's a room set up specifically and only for monitoring people's home security systems.
Is that unique? So that's unique. You don't find that?
You don't find that. No, that is not at all common. Most of the companies. So
when you call, and you're getting a response, it's from where? I mean, out of state, oftentimes.
Quite often. Quite often out of state. Occasionally Northern California, but quite often out of state. And usually when you call too, you're not going to get a human being right on the first try. You're going to get choices. Push 1 for so-and-so and 2 for this. No, when you call our office, you're going to get a person.
You don't get a recording.
You're not going to get a recording.
Okay.
You may be on hold
If I had my cell phone, I would call right now
call
just
right
to test
now.
this out.
That's right. Janice will answer the phone.
Yeah, well, is that 24 hours a day or during working
24 hours a day,
Oh,
7
really?
days a week, absolutely.
Wow.
We are manned 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
It's like those guys at Eisenhower that are on call.
Sure,
It's,
sure.
This is,
there is someone always there. Because, let's face it, you don't know. I mean, criminals are unpredictable. Sometimes they come in the middle of the night.
Is crime going up, by the way?
Absolutely. The Coachella Valley is...
I mean, you brought, I live in San Diego, so I don't know about the crime rate over there.
Right, right. No, I did bring this. This was an article out of our local Desert Sun newspaper earlier this year, January-ish. And it's basically just talking about a rash of crimes in a local private community, gated community with guards and patrolmen and so on and so forth. An up-and-coming community, and they are just have been having a rash of crime, and they're not the only ones. It just happens to focus on this particular community in this article. And so they're talking about that now they've started a neighborhood watch program, which is a terrific thing to do, and they give people some common sense suggestions about ways to increase the level of deterrence for their home security. And it's amazing the things that people don't think of that are they're so simple and they're so common sense, but people move into gated communities, they move into a small community like the Coachella Valley.
And there's theft.
And they
well, you're in the business, so you hear about that theft.
I know about it.
It's like talking to a police officer.
Right, right. But they don't think that that's going to happen to them there. This is
so
a resort
alarm,
community.
I mean, really, does alarm, I don't pay attention to these statistics, but I mean, I guess it's loud, it scares them off.
Yeah, that's
Does it deter people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The sign is a certain level of deterrence. Just having, statistically, people who have security signs are broken into less frequently than people who don't.
How you know, a percentage off the top of your head would be, I mean, 20% of the people don't have alarms? Because I'm surprised when I hear people don't have alarms.
I kind of am too, but no, there are a lot of people who don't have alarms.
Thousands in the desert?
I would say so.
Thousands and thousands. By the way, if you're just tuning in, this is a different kind of a show. We're featuring local business people that have great customer service. You know, this is Sheri Sandifer. She's with Command One Security, family-owned business, big on customer service.
Very big on
and the
service.
best part, it's less than the big names.
Absolutely.
Like a Brinks or an ADT and things like that.
Absolutely.
But you also say you have a little bit better service because you have a local command center.
We're local.
Okay,
Right.
but I'm not quite sure, by the way, respectfully, where the benefit there is to the
local
just the fact that you're local.
Just the fact that we're local? Well, on a service level, if you're going to call if you've had an alarm installed by a big local or a big national firm, they don't have local people. Except to do the install, they have some local people. But if you have a service need, you're calling out of town. And you'll get on the schedule when they have people coming this direction, generally speaking.
Interesting.
So when you have...
Do you think you're faster, in your opinion?
No question in my mind.
But that's for a service issue.
Right.
But for response...
For monitoring?
Yeah.
For monitoring. Now, granted, all alarms are monitored through telephone lines. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Telephone lines or cellular units. All alarms.
Okay.
It's the only way to do it, all right? So as far as conveying the alarm signal, it does go through the telephone line to wherever it's going to go.
All right.
The difference is what happens when it gets there. If it's going to one of these large national monitoring stations, which is primarily where your alarm is going to be sold. Okay. Your paper is sold to one of these mega monitoring
So that 2-year
stations.
contract that most people do, 2-3-year contract,
Right.
that is sold to a monitoring company. That's how it works?
Somewhere farther away, usually a very large company with tens of thousands of alarm customers.
All right.
So they have very large central monitoring stations with dozens of operators. So when your alarm comes into their central monitoring station, it's going to be handled in a scripted manner. All right. Now, these people are not in your community. They don't know. In the desert recently,
well, what do they need to know? I mean,
they need to know, one, that you're having an alarm. What kind of alarm it is. Is it a burglary alarm? Is it a fire alarm? Is it a medical? Is it a panic? So that they will know what procedure to follow based on the type of alarm that you're having. They're going to know that. If your alarm was installed and communicated properly, everybody's going to know what that is.
What about false alarms? I mean, is the benefit also of the false alarm in a windy area?
Huge. That's a huge part of the benefit of being a local
Was that a great
company.
question by any chance?
I thought you'd never
roll
ask.
today.
I thought I was going to have to bring this up myself. You know, the last few weekends, well, you don't know, but in the desert the last few weekends, it's this time of year we get incredible winds. And we've had terrible windstorms. And people's garage side doors are banging open and closed and windows blow open, and if they're not here, they don't know. Well, their alarm just keeps going off. Every 4 minutes, it's going off again. Every time the wind blows again, it's sending the same doggone signal, right? So now once we know that that's a false, our operators are in the valley. We know we're having a windstorm. It's very clear. So once we know that that's the false alarm, we've dispatched the police once because that's what we're obligated to do.